Hello, welcome back to Mark's House and Garden UK. In this video, I'm going to make the world's smallest tablescape or table decoration or table centre. And the reason I'm making the world's smallest is because I live in a tiny cottage and I have a tiny dining room and a tiny dining table. So I have bought the tiniest little vases. Can you see them? And I'm going to do this with tiny flowers out of my garden, and these flowers are flowers which are either weeds or which I've not planted. So effectively the flowers that are going in my tablescape are free of charge. Right, so it's going to go in the center of my dining table and it's going to form a talking point and a centerpiece, and it's going to be really rather beautiful. Right, what have I got here? I've got lots of those little vases. I'm calling them vases, they're actually little bottles. I got them off Amazon. If you want to copy this idea, everything you see in this video is available on Amazon. I will put my links in the description box below this video. If you buy through my links, I do earn a small commission. Thank you very much, and everything goes back into my YouTube channel. Right, so there are several assorted little tiny vases. I've got some tiny little snips there for going foraging in the garden for my flowers. And in order to fill those, I will be using my turkey baster and a jug of water. And in order to give it some stability, I'm going to super glue these to a slate. And I'm using a slate because the coasters in my kitchen, by happy coincidence, are slate. So that will give it some stability. And it fits in with the general colour scheme in my dining room. Right, let's get gluing, then let's go foraging. So there's our vases glued to our slate. If you're going to use super glue, make sure you are careful with it. I've got some gloves to protect my fingers. Again, available on Amazon, link below. Right, so while that's drying, we can go out and do some foraging. Now, I have noticed that at the moment, there seems to be an abundance of a kind of a purpley pink colour in my garden. I am going to avoid flowers that I know are poisonous, because who knows, there might be a temptation for someone to try and eat them with their dinner, because some people think a lot of flowers are edible. So that will be my tip. Right, let's go foraging. And here I am back with a wonderful array of different shapes and sizes and textures, all from in my garden. It took me about 10 minutes to gather these. Let me just give you a quick overview. Don't overlook grasses. I mean, a lot of the grasses in my garden at the moment have got a purple colour to them. This is a wildflower, it's a rose campion, and look at that. Isn't that interesting? That's a poppy head. Again, this was a weed which set itself in my garden. These are little seed heads, little thistly seed heads, very interesting shape. Right, so that's going to add some texture. This is Catinus Indian smoke bush, which actually is quite like a cloud. And also, again, we've got some thistles. They're a bit spiky, so I shall treat those with kid gloves. All different shapes, sizes, textures, but all of a similar hue. I picked those out because of the flowers. I may or may not use the yellow. It might be a nice contrast. And this is Persicaria red dragon. Right, let's get the vases full of water and start assembling these into some kind of tablescape. Incidentally, I am going to show you this on the middle of my table with the table made up at the end of this video, so don't worry. You'll get instant gratification. Right, bear with me while I fill these using my turkey baster. What I really like about this idea of making a tablescape is the fact that virtually anyone can have a go. And there are an infinite number of different themes you could go for. I once did one for Easter and I put little Easter bunnies and chicks on it. My theme tonight is this purple colour, but you could go for wildflowers, you could go for cactuses or succulents. Anything goes really, and there are no set rules to it. And it makes a massive impact. It's a real talking point. So I would encourage you to have a go and fill those vases with water. And the nice thing about having the vases full of water is that the water will magnify the stems, and again, that will look very cute. All I need to do now is start trimming these down and placing them in those vases. When I've done all that outside, I'll transfer that to the inside and you'll see it on the kitchen table. I'll probably do this cutting up bit in fast forward, and any particular learning points or thoughts that I have, I'll share with you at the end of this little segment to music. Well, I have now decided that mine is now finished. I've decided to stop there because I really like it. I've not used all the materials, as I gathered. One thing that I would say is remember that there are two sides to a tablescape, so don't just build it from one side. Go to the other side or rotate the piece so that you are getting a view. You don't want all these guests to not get as good a show as those guests, so rotate it about. And I've gone for different lengths, different heights. I've varied it up, and I've actually dragged some of the catinus in between the vases, but even the vases look really quite special because the water is magnifying the stalks. Wonderful. Now, I promise you I will show you that on the table inside. So let's go. And there it is. And I have to say, I think that lighting makes all the difference as well. The table is set. The guests are about to arrive. It's a balmy summer's evening. The doors are open to the fernery, and I'm bringing the outside in with this tablescape. And it is looking, in my opinion, really rather beautiful. Now, that may last more than one night. I might get a whole weekend out of it, but I don't care, because if I just get one night's pleasure out of that and a decent bit of conversation, I will be a happy man. The lights are available also in my Amazon shop. Now, these were not cheap, but they are brilliant. I've had them about 4 years, and they're very heavy and solid. I always think if you buy cheap, you buy twice, so I went for the best I could afford. But they have also a dimmer and a warm glow effect, so you can adjust. Right, there we go. The world's smallest tablescape, table decoration, table center, made from the world's smallest flowers in the world's smallest dining room in the world's smallest cottage. Don't hold me to that. I'm probably exaggerating slightly, but I've had fun. Hope you have. And I'll see you soon for some more Tablescape adventures.